Hello, I'm Darren Slack, and welcome to Week 9 of NFA's QB Cast, your weekly prep talk podcast for helping everyone associated with game day to get better. We're continuing our leadership series this week with number 9 on the list of critical attributes for quarterback leaders on the field and in life, and that's consistency. Consistency is the achievement of a level of performance that does not vary greatly in quality over time. Basically, it means you do what you say you're going to do more than you don't for a long time. Consistency on and off the field is critical to quarterback leadership because it develops trust. It's the way a quarterback builds confidence in their leadership with the coaches who rely on them and with the players who follow them. They must build trust. Consistency is working hard when you don't want to, lifting when you'd rather be lazy, studying more video than playing video games, working on your skills more than you skate by, and being willing to do it every day. It's repeatedly and relentlessly forfeiting your right to do what you want so the team and coaches get what they need from you. These coach and player relationships are the soil in which consistency deepens the roots of trust and stabilizes your leadership. You see, trust is the hinge pin on which swings the door of permission that coaches and players give the quarterback to dictate where the team goes and how it's going to get there. This is why connecting with teammates and coaches on a deeper level than the game whenever possible ensures the quarterback leader is known for more than just their performance. Consistency directly feeds the opportunities and respect a leader who's a quarterback receives. Think of consistency like an emotional bank account in your relationships that is receiving regular deposits. When you build bank with your coaches and teammates, even if you make a withdrawal in that account through failures and mistakes on game day, there's enough stored up to keep the trust and confidence flowing. The other thing that ensures trust is built in quarterback leaders is your willingness to do first what everyone who follows must do also. If a change is needed, you as the quarterback leader must change first. If steps are to be taken, the quarterback must take those steps first. And regardless of what must be done or how hard the change becomes, you must be consistent over time in demonstrating your willingness to keep your promise. Now, while your consistency definitely impacts coaches and players on an emotional level over time, rarely do your own emotions matter in remaining consistent. Consistency has little to do with what we feel and everything to do with what we make important. It's not about my preferences. It's always about priorities and productivity. You see, a quarterback leader's consistency of his emotions, disciplines, and desires is sustained with the consistency of why you do what you do and the passion you have to remain faithful to it. As courage is what we demonstrate to overcome fear, intelligence to overcome adversity, consistency is how we reveal what we believe is important. Time is the most valuable thing a quarterback leader has, and how you spend it consistently doing what you do reveals what you value. Whatever you do consistently, good or bad, reveals what matters to you, who matters to you, and the validity of all the leadership traits you say you possess. Consistency is character showing up every day to keep its promise. If you complain consistently, your leadership will reflect that and others will follow your example. If you're consistently angered after a mistake, your leadership will show it and others will get angry with you. If you're consistently indecisive under pressure, it will show in tentative leadership and others will be tentative as well. Consistency reveals your convictions as they are and they cannot be hidden. Whatever you do says who you are. It's your choice to determine what you will do consistently to send the message of what matters most to you. Another important thing to know about consistency in quarterback leadership is that it requires patience. It's the knowledge that what I want, I can't have right now, but I must keep doing the things every day that will get me and our team to where we all want to be. We live in a gotta-have-it-now culture where people want everything they can get often before they fully earned or work to achieve it. They feel entitled to something simply because, well, they want it really bad. The challenge for a quarterback leader who thinks that they deserve their opportunity through some shortcut of talent or a lucky break or because they know someone doesn't understand that he's wanting something he didn't earn. So when he receives it, he'll be less likely to value it in the way it should be valued. This opens the door to inconsistency and apathy when real pressure is applied. A good example of this shortcut mentality occurs in social media today when very young quarterback leaders who aren't fully developed as they should be crave attention from social media exposure and the belief that they'll be seen early on by recruiters. The problem is if their talent isn't at the level that it needs to be, they can be prematurely dismissed from consideration going forward because, well, they haven't achieved the level necessary to draw the attention of college coaches. Here's another challenge of that premature all-star exposure for young quarterbacks. Many love the idea of that early exposure, but not the input and correction required to get them ready to be seen down the road by real college coaches. What's even more disheartening is that this overinflated sense in a quarterback leader too early can severely stunt or limit the development process to the level that's needed for college coaches to pay serious attention. So they fall short of what they could have been because they thought they had already achieved in their own mind, well, because that's what they were told. Now, understand, there's nothing wrong with information being posted about the success of a young quarterback online or being on an all-star team. But that exposure and opportunity should never be something that drives the heart of a quarterback leader's preparation or his consistency. It must always be the goal ahead, not the glory behind, that drives our consistency. Consistency is the ultimate short-term goal-setting demonstration. It's the moment-by-moment awareness that in order to get where I want to be, I have to move the chains right now. Consistency in leadership off the field is critical to your credibility, and the bottom line on all that is dependability. It's not one choice to be consistent, but rather 1,000 small decisions in a row to do the hard thing instead of the easy one. No one can make those decisions for you. That is why leadership can feel so lonely at times. You have to will yourself to greatness when you're all by yourself. To be completely honest, all the off-field consistency in the world will not be able to make up for inconsistency on the field under pressure. On-the-field consistency is what helps you as a quarterback leader ensure that your leadership still matters as much as you desire it to. So, quickly, here's 3 things to help you be more consistent in your on-field performance under pressure. Number 1, practice at game speed. Repetition alone isn't the key. It's repetition at game speed that really ensures the highest probability of success. Know what's expected of you from your coaches. Get all the input you need before you go to the field. Explain to your coaches your desire to go game speed and do it. Make every snap count. You're going to get tired. You'll be gassed and breathing hard. But isn't that how you play on game day? If you don't practice at game speed, how will your body and mind know how to sustain that speed in the game? Ask your coach to hold you accountable and then push it, okay? Number 2, always be thinking about how what you do every moment applies to game situations. This game situation mentality will require some creativity and imagination, but thinking this way will add value to every rep while creating a sense of been there, done that when pressure does come. A quarterback leader at practice or in life looking for the easy way through will never understand why he didn't get all he wanted. But the one who is able to see everything he does as important to the preparation for the game in some fashion will not only be more ready for the pressure, he's going to excel while others are blame shifting and making excuses for failure on game day. Watch game film with specific plays in mind. Visualize each play's success based on what the defense is giving up through their weakness. Understand field position management, down and distance, and defensive tendencies throughout each practice rep. What audible you're calling, and on your each 7-on-7 throw. Like a baseball coach hitting infield calls out the runners and outs situation beforehand, so each player has to think about where to go with the ball hit to them. Ask your coach to create as many contexts as possible for you to work through. If he doesn't have time to do it, you call out the situation for him based on your film study and show him that you know how to respond, how to audible, and make the right call. A game-focused mind is a prepared mind. All right, number 3, set difficult but achievable goals every day that build on each other. We must set measurable and achievable goals to sustain consistency on a daily basis. The key is measurable and achievable. We must be able to measure our success in completions in 7-on-7, perfection in individual group handoffs, routes on air consistency with receivers, coverage reads, and audible calls. If you can get those tracked, so much the better, but the quarterback needs to set the goal for everyone in the drill to raise the competitive level for each player. This is on you. We cannot just go through the motions or will not receive the game pressure benefit from each repetition. So be intentional in determining what goals will be set for each training period, how they'll be met, and how they'll be measured. Then do it again every day, each week. This will raise everyone's game around you and ensure that you're engaged mentally, emotionally, and physically at every moment of practice. That's game speed. Consistency of improvement is the only way a quarterback leader or any leader in life can delay the inevitable drift into failure because of pressure, distraction, or changing priorities. We must use daily goal setting that is measurable and achievable to track that improvement. Consistency's greatest demonstration in the quarterback has always been and will always continue to be in your ability to move the chains, both on the field and off. There's no greater way to build trust, consistency, and sustain the quality of your performance than by moving the chains. I hope that inspires you to develop your consistency as leaders on and off the field today. Next week, we'll dive into another important attribute, but this week, let's evaluate how we can move the chains and stay committed to consistency in all we do. We wish you the best, NFA Nation, in your games this week, and we'll talk to you next week after your win.